Hello, and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica, and this show, this one right here, is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all the crazy things that, boy, I step on over and over again. Welcome. It is, what's today? Wednesday, the 29th of September. We are almost in October. I hope you are having a great month so far, and we are going right into fall, which is super exciting. Today we're going to be talking about something I saw on A VO's Journey Facebook page, and I think this is something that plagues us all. So I think I've titled this Help, I Sound Too Robotic. I had posted a picture the other day on the Facebook group of a list of work that I was doing, and about half of them out of like 15 voiceover jobs that I was doing that day, half of them were in revision status. Meaning like people were asking for revisions, and someone had made the comment on the Facebook page where they were like, they were saying, please, I want you to do the whole voiceover again. It sounds too robotic. I think we all can relate to that, right? I mean, I know I can. So I wanted to kind of give you some ideas on how you can sound less robotic and move away from that worry. I think the big thing to just overall take away from that idea is, listen, especially in our society today, we are trying to find uniqueness, or we're promoting it, right? We're promoting being ourselves. And it can be challenging for a lot of us, right? Because, I used to coach actors for the stage as well. And when they would get on stage, I always make the little joke, and when an actor would be backstage and be like, all right, I'm getting ready to go on. And then they step on stage and be like, I'm on stage now. This is my stage voice. I'm on stage. And then they come off and they'll be like, yeah, how'd I do? Right? I mean, it's like I always call it the stage voice, or I call it the mile of crap, right? Between your mouth and the microphone. What happens when we start to record that all of a sudden we become, rigid or tight and worrisome that we're going to screw up or we're not going to do it right. And I think for me, this happened to me for years. And I got to a point where I got so frustrated. Maybe you've gotten to that point if you've been doing this for a little while, where I got so frustrated of feeling uncomfortable while I was doing voiceovers, while I was narrating. And uncomfortable meaning like I felt like every time I did a voiceover, I was trying to rediscover, what I was going to do, the style or whatever, you know what I mean? Instead of me knowing what style I was going to go after and delivering it and moving on with my life, I was always very uncomfortable because I thought, man, I'm just not doing it right. I got to do it again. I got to re-record. It doesn't sound good. And I got to that point where I was so frustrated that eventually what I did was I was like, gosh, I would just give anything if I could just step up here and talk. I'm just going to talk. And one thing I found very helpful was starting to improv before, all right? Doing a lead-in, as they're called. And basically what it means is that you have your copy, you have your script, and you begin before you start reading the script, okay, to do a little bit of improv, you know what I mean? So if you're trying to go for, relatable, fun, something like that, but, we're trying to be not robotic. I said not robots. Then, a lead-in can be something like maybe the copy says something like, we're so excited to welcome you to, Joe's Pizza tonight at 8, you know what I mean? So something like that. So you could be like, a lead-in would be something like, Joe's Pizza. I'm super excited about Joe's Pizza. It's really exciting. Can't wait to welcome you guys to Joe's Pizza tonight at 8. You see what I mean? Like I do a lead-in. I just made that whole thing up, right? But I do a lead-in before the script. So what happens is it gets me improving. And when you improv, right, it's very impossible to sound, unless you're specifically trying to be a robot, it becomes impossible for you to, I think, a lot of times sound robotic while you're improving because your mind is focused on something. All right. And so the first one is a lead in. So the second one, as I'm talking about your mind focusing, is focus. So I usually give the example about, young actors when they would be on stage, they would always ask me, hey, what do I do with my hands? Or, what should I be doing with my feet? Or, like, what should I be doing with my hands, right? And while they're on stage and there's action going on or something, or someone else is talking, right? Or there's an idea. And, I would always realize when someone would say that, it's obvious that they are focusing on the wrong thing, right? Because if you focus on your hands or you focus on your feet, okay, or in our case, you're focusing on the words, like how you're saying the words. You're focusing on the pacing. You're focusing on all this stuff. Well, we're not actually focusing on what we should be focusing on, which in the case of a stage actor, right, should be the action or the idea or what's happening and reacting based off of what's happening, not what your body is doing. Same with voice actors. We should be reacting to the message that we are trying to relay, right? The ideas that we're trying to tell through the words that we're saying, not how the words sound while we're saying them, right? Sorry, phone went off. So that's the whole point of what I'm getting across with the focus is that you've got to focus on the message, the right thing. Because if you don't, you're going to be focusing on words. You're going to be focusing on pitch variation. You're going to be focusing all that stuff, which leads to you sounding robotic. Because quite honestly, it's not really you. Okay, it's you pretending to try to sound interesting when the reality is that if you just relay the message, like for example, if you have a script, right, and you're trying to relay, you just say a script that's based on, let's say it's about, building carburetors. Okay, all right, well, that could be very robotic. All right. However, in the script, let's say that, now mind you, you got to base all this on the direction. But let's say part of this about building carburetors, but also the idea here is that we build the best carburetors. All right. We build the very best, better than the rest of the market. And we're very proud of what we do. All right. We're very proud of the process. We're proud of the materials we use. We're proud of the service that we offer our retailers. We're proud of what we do. Well, focusing on that pride, that excitement. Now, mind you, this is where acting comes in, right? Focusing as you read the script, all right, in a manner in which you feel proud about the words that you say. Hey, we do this and we do this. That's why it's so great. It changes your focus. It changes your mindset so that you're not focused so much on how the word, sounds and how the am I going up or am I going down, or am I pausing in the right place, or am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Instead, you plant the idea in your mind, right, that you're going to focus on the idea, okay, of the message that you're trying to relay. And remember, I call it the story underneath the story. But remember, a story isn't just like a Disney story, right, like Once Upon a Time. A story can also be how you want to, like I said, pride, a feeling you want to convey while you're reading something. Because it's not just the words that you're saying, right? But it's how you're saying them. And for us, sometimes we focus literally on how we say the words instead of focusing on how we're relaying the message while we say the words. Does that make sense? So those are really two good things that you can do. And the third one I'm going to give you, all right, is that I find one of the best ways to do something too is to take a script, look over it, and then I want you to read it. But this time when you read it, I want you to, as you read the script, I don't want you to read the words. I want you to read the ideas that you think the script is trying to say. Okay? I want you just to read the ideas the script is trying to say. So like if the script is, trying to get you to buy a specific coffee brand, okay, these unique beans that are only grown in, remote areas of the jungle, all right, coffee beans. Okay, I want you to go through that, and then instead of reading the words, I want you to look over the script, and then I want you to improv what you think that these words, okay, are trying, like, what are they trying to say? Like, are they, they're trying to say, look, our beans are so exclusive, so amazing, that we go into the jungle and, we search for these things, we find them, and we carry them with love and care all the way back to where we go, and we process them a very certain way, and, they're stored in the best facilities, like, you know what I mean? Like, you go through, and instead of actually saying word for word what the words are, you improv what you think the words are trying to say. Then you go back and read it, and I guarantee you, when you go back and read the script again after you've done that, you're going to feel completely different about the script. Now, mind you, this is for scripts that you can do that. Longer scripts, scripts that begin to get like, 500-600 words, 1,000 words, 10, audio books and stuff. It's not very realistic, but you can do it in chunks depending on your time frame. Do you know what I mean? And you can skim. You can do this in general. It has to get a little bit bigger as you go for longer things. But even those things, you can assign feelings. You can assign ideas. I call them, like, you can assign adjectives or descriptive words to help you relay a message, okay, that you're trying to say while you're saying the words. Listen, I hope that this has helped. I hope this has given you some ideas, some thoughts about how you can sound less robotic and get that, that weight off your shoulders. I know it was it just grew and grew and grew for me because I was exhausted every time. Not only did I have to do everything for my voiceover business, but then when I went to voice act, I was always concerned that I was screwing up or I wasn't doing it right. When in the reality, I wasn't concerned about the right thing. I should have been concerned about, am I relaying a message? And what is the message I'm trying to say while I'm speaking? Okay. Now, if you are having issues with speaking out loud, like reading out loud without screwing up, I had lots of that, which blew my mind when I started because, here I've got a master's degree, in education. I've performed and traveled across the country doing stage work. I was a teacher for 12 years. I mean, I did all this stuff. There should be no reason why I should have trouble reading out loud, but I sucked. I sucked at it badly. So not only was I trying to figure out what I was focusing on, I literally was focusing on trying to just say the words right because I didn't want to screw up. So these things do come in stages. So if that's your case, a little tip, I know I'm going too long here, but a little tip is to read ahead. Read ahead while you're reading. This will feel very uncomfortable at first. But if you focus on reading ahead while you're reading, it will help you get better at knowing what's coming next. And you'll also find that your breathing gets better. Breathing is another thing. If you're doing voiceovers and you're constantly out of breath, a lot of that has to do with your just uncomfortableness of reading. Okay, because you don't know what's coming next, and it's you haven't trained your brain to trust that, the idea and everything, where it begins, where it ends. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some books, like when I was doing some long audio books from the turn of the 19th and 20th century, those were like, the turn, were like the turn of the century there. The 7 sentences were pushed into one paragraph, but it was one sentence. That's how they wrote. And, the idea was a flowing idea. So you can't just pause in places or it just sounds wrong. So, that was a good lesson for me on how to be comfortable with reading long passages without sounding like I was out of breath. All this is training too. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This lesson and so many other lessons, by the way, you can learn from, we have a VO's Journey Academy. We had an amazing open panel, coaches panel the other day, and it was fantastic. We had over 65 people show up. We had our coaches there. We were there for 2 hours just answering questions. We did audition reviews for people. It was just a lot of fun, got a lot of good information. There'll be a link below if you're interested in signing up, being a part of the VO's Journey Elite Academy. We meet 4 times a week, Monday through Thursday. We do voice acting, we do marketing, we do production, and we do business systems and accountability. Tonight's marketing. I do marketing on Wednesday nights. So there'll be a link below, or you can also check out on avosjourney.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.